Bhakta-vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Cham Vishnupad Paramam Saparvakacharya Satarasati Śrīmad. His Divine Grace Abhaichanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Guru and Sri Gaurangam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from the 4th canto, chapter 7, the sacrifice performed by Daksha, text 10. Tada vishadat vachtvesa. Tada vishadat vachtvesa. Tada vishadat Kali Atma Prajapati Shiva Valoka Abhavash Charat Drada Ivamala Tada Frishat Vachat Vesha Kalitatma Prajapati Chapati Shiva Valokat Adavas Sharatrata Ivamala Tada Frishat Vachat Vesha Kalitatma Prajapati Shiva Valokat Abhave Vas Charadrata Imafala. So please repeat. Tada Vishat Vachat Vesha Kaliyatma Prajapati Shiva Valoka Abhavash Sharatrata Ivamalaha. Someone else. Tada Vishat Vachat Vesha Kaliyatma Prajapati Shiva Loka Abhavasha Sharatrata Ivamalaha. Ladies, please. No? Tada Vishat Vachat Vesha Kalilatma Prajapati Shiva Valoka Abhavash Sharatrata Ivamala Tada Vishat Vachat Vesha Kalilatma Prajapati Shiva Valokat Avashak Sharatrata Ivamalaha. Tada, at that time, Prishadvacha, Lord Shiva writes on a bull, Dvesha, envy, Kalila Atma, polluted heart. Prajapatihi, King Daksha, Shiva, Lord Shiva, Avalokat, by seeing him, Abhavat, became, Sarat, in the autumn, Radha, lake, Eva, like, Amalaha, cleansed. Translation and purport by Abhay Charanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. At that time, when Daksha saw Lord Shiva, who rides upon a bull, his heart, which was polluted by envy of Lord Shiva, was immediately cleansed, just as the water in a lake is cleansed by autumn rains. Purport. Here is an example of why Lord Shiva is called auspicious. If anyone sees Lord Shiva with devotion and reverence, his heart is immediately cleansed. King Daksha was polluted by envy of Lord Shiva, and yet by seeing him with a little love and devotion, his heart immediately became cleansed. In the rainy season, the reservoirs of water become dirty and muddy, but as soon as the autumn rain comes, all the water immediately becomes clear and transparent. Similarly, although Daksha's heart was impure because of having slandered Lord Shiva, for which he was severely punished, Daksha now came to consciousness, and just by seeing Lord Shiva with veneration and respect, he became immediately purified. Tata vrishat vachat vishtak kalilatma prajapatihi Shiva loka abhavash sharat drata ivamala. At that time, when Daksha saw Lord Shiva, who rides upon a bull, his heart, which was polluted by envy of Lord Shiva, was immediately cleansed, just as the water in a lake is cleansed by autumn rains. Om Mahyanati Mandasya Janjana Shlakya Saksharan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Chitchetaya Manopistam Staptam Yena Bhutale Svam Rapakadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shiho Shiyudha Pata Kamalam Shiyom Vaishnavam Shah Shri Rupam Jagajatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivan Sadvaitam Savdutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jyatpate Kopesha Kopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvare Vrishabhanu Sudadevi Panamama Haripriye Vankha Kalptrabhasha Kripa Sindhavasha Patinam Pavanabhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Sarasvata Deve Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachai Desatarni Srila Prabhupada Ki. So this pastime comes here in this 7th chapter to an end. Prajapati Daksha offending Lord Shiva. It's a great lesson for us that we chant every morning Trinata Pisna Sunichanata Ora Vaisaislana Amana Manadana Kirtanya Sadahari. One should chant the holy name in a humble state of mind, thinking one Lord on a store in the street, more tolerant on a tree. One should be ready to give all honor to others. And yes, do not ask honor for oneself. But Daksha wanted honor for himself and did not want to give honor to others. What was the problem? It's here pointed out as envy. But it goes deeper. So we are Bhakti Shastri students, have studied Nectar of Instruction. The first verse explains that one must become a dhira, control one's senses. And to attain that position of a dhira, there are things you should not do and things you should do. And only when you do that, then you can have good relationships with devotees. And this relationship, the good relations with devotees, are explained as 6 loving exchanges. That giving gifts, receiving gifts, and then revealing one's one devotee reveals one's mind in confidence to another, and the other hears, and offering prasadam, receiving prasadam. But then, in text 5 of Nectar of Instruction, I'll read the verse. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti set pranani bishabhajanta mishan susrusraya bhajana vishyamanaya manya nindadi sunyaridam ipsitul sanghalabdya. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name, and one should offer humble obeisance to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. So in the beginning of the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, in order to apply these 6 loving exchanges between devotees, which is essence of relationships with devotees, one should know who is advanced and who is not advanced. Otherwise, one will make offenses. And that was a problem of Lord Shiva. That Lord Shiva was thinking, that was a problem of Prajapati Daksha, because he was thinking, Lord Shiva is my son-in-law. That he saw it as his son-in-law. So when he came into the arena of the sacrifice, he expected him to give him respect and stand up. But he could not understand the position of Lord Shiva, the spiritual position of Lord Shiva. He could not, he was spiritually blind because of envy, that he could not understand. Yeah, Brahma did not stand up, and he was thinking, that's all right, he was thinking. He's our father. But Shiva is my son-in-law, I should stand up. But Lord Shiva's position is greater. Is greater than the position of Lord Brahma. Because he's Lord Krishna, is the Supreme Lord. Lord Shiva is the Supreme Lord in contact with matter. So Krishna expands in many forms, unlimited forms. They are all Vishnu Tattva, equal to him. And Lord Shiva is in a special category. He was the most spiritually advanced in the entire assembly. And he was meditating on Lord Krishna in his heart. And that is a Vaishnava. He was always thinking of Krishna in his heart. He was the greatest Vaishnava. So, and Lord Shiva, well, Prajapati Daksha did not behave properly because of envy in his heart. He has no spirit. He had no spiritual vision. That when he entered the assembly of the demigods, the time when the sacrifice was going to start, then when Lord Shiva did not stand up and all the other demigods stood up to offer him respect, he started to speak. He said, the first thing he said is, what I will say now is not out of envy. That's the first thing he said. When we went to this section of the Bhagavatam in the Bhakti by Vav course in Vrindavan, Pujan Prabhu said it is like a man and a woman at night. They are in the sleeping room upstairs, and suddenly they hear some noise downstairs. Someone is breaking in the house, and the woman pushes her husband and says, you go see. And the husband takes all his courage. He goes to the beginning of the stairs and looks down into the dark. And he shouts, is there someone down there? And there is a few seconds silence. And then a voice comes from down and said, I'm not stealing anything. So he breaks into the house, but he says, I'm not stealing anything. Why does he break in? To steal, of course. So Lord Prajapati Daksha is the same. He says, what I'm going to say now is not out of envy, but his heart is full of envy. And he says, yes, this Shiva is not gentle in behavior, he says. That he's not clean. He lives at a crematorium and smears the ash of dead bodies on his body. That is unclean. But Brahma has forced me to give my hand of my daughter Gayatri, Sita, Sati, Gayatri, that my daughter wears beautiful eyes, and he has eyes like a monkey's. He forced me, and that. And he's going on blaspheming Lord Shiva, because he has no spiritual vision. He does know who is advanced and who is not advanced. If we don't create that discrimination who is more advanced than us and less advanced than us, we cannot properly relate with devotees, and we make offenses. So we should not remain on the stage of the beginner. And that we should learn who is advanced and not advanced by the criteria of advancement that Lord Krishna gives us in the Bhagavad Gita. That Lord Krishna gives whole lists. One example, the 12th chapter, that from verses 13 till 20, Krishna gives lists of spiritual qualities of one who is spiritually advanced. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evasha. One who is spiritually advanced is not envious to any living entity. That is equal to everyone, is merciful, that is equal to happiness and distress, and so on. And there are more lists. Of 4 places in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives lists. In the 14th chapter, Arjuna is asking Krishna, what are the qualities of a man who has transcended the modes of nature? And Krishna explains, by studying these qualities, we can understand who is advanced and not advanced. And be very careful not to make offenses. Because then if you know who is advanced and who is not advanced, what do we do? How do we deal with them? Because Prajapati Daksha said about Shiva in the assembly, this person is not gentle, Shiva. But then we will hear in the next chapter that Narada Muni will instruct Dhruva Maharaj. Then he speaks about a gentle person, the qualities of a gentle person. Hunadikam mudam lipsit anukosam hunadamat maitrim samanat amvichan nataper abi bhuyate. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate toward him. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. So, Prajapati Daksha just reacted the opposite. So it says, if someone of gentle behavior meets someone more elevated than oneself, is happy. I can learn from that person. He can help to elevate me, and he becomes happy. And he takes shelter of that person, offers him respect. But Prajapati Daksha met someone who is more elevated than him, Lord Shiva, and he offended him. One was envy in the heart, and he meets someone who is more advanced than oneself, materially or spiritually. Well, one who has envy in the heart sees only materially. He cannot see spiritual. But it will bring that person down. This person is nothing. And will find faults in that person. And that is what Prajapati Daksha did with Shiva. And then, if one meets someone who is equal A gentle person makes friendship, but the envious person will show to that person and boost and propagate himself and all what he has done to show I'm better than you. And if someone who is, if a gentle person meets someone who is less advanced, he becomes merciful and try to elevate that person. Try to elevate that person. But the envious person will see, oh, this person is nothing, and he tries to put this person down. That's the difference between a gentle person and an envious person. And Lord Shiva, Prajapati Daksha in this pastime has learned this lesson. He ended up with the head of a goat. Only with the head of a goat. He could have become a goat and get the consciousness of a goat. But Lord Shiva was merciful. And then what happened with Prajapati Daksha? He understood I have faults. And Lord Shiva was so merciful to show my faults so that I can do something about it. Because he was repentant, he understood the fault lies in me. So that is a symptom of a devotee. If something goes wrong, it thinks the fault lies in me, not in the others. A materialist will say, I'm fine. But the others, they have so many faults. He sees faults in the others. If something goes wrong, it's not my fault, it's the other. He did that, and that. When the four Kumaras came to the gate of Vaikuntha and they cursed Jai and Vijay, Lord Narayan came to the gate of Vaikuntha and he said to the four Kumaras, please forgive me, the fault lies in me, I'm responsible for my servants. Lord Narayan said, the fault lies in me. If something goes wrong in the spiritual world, everyone says immediately the fault lies in me. But here in this material world, everyone says the fault lies in the other. And we think our perception is everything. But if something goes wrong in this world, then it's for our rectification. So now usually we get reactions of our past sinful activities. But the devotee thinks tatenu kampam sasamikshma bunjat maivabna kritak vibhavach ritvachva vadrapir vidadan namaste jivetyo muktipades dayabhak. Oh, the Supreme Lord gives me only a token of the reaction, a small part of the reaction. He's so kind, I must suffer. I should have suffered much more because of my own past misdeeds. A devotee knows if he suffers, it's a reaction to my own past deeds. And the devotee is responsible. Yes, let me suffer for it. I deserve it. Like Maharaj Parikshit in the first canto of the Bhagavatam. he offered a dead snake as a garland to Samakarishi. But then later, a few months later, when he was going to his palace, he was thinking, I made a grave offense. And I prayed to the Lord, please let reaction come. And let it come to my alone, not to my family. He was praying like that. But here we see Daksha became really to his senses, because the envy was removed from his heart, because he became repentant. And after becoming repentant, feelings of devotion for Lord Shiva came. And when he saw Lord Shiva with feelings of devotion, he became completely cleansed. That is the mercy of the spiritual master. So our advancement depends on the mercy of the spiritual master. Krishna's mercy is only followed by the mercy of the spiritual master. It's something we should very be careful. Therefore, if we do Guru Puja for Srila Prabhupada, make sure the puja is done properly and not in an offensive way. We need Prabhupada's mercy. That the management can maybe appoint someone who knows how to do puja. It's very important. It's not proper that the one who does the puja doesn't offer the flower, but then goes around and give it to everyone to sniff on. This is just offensive.
I offered the flower.
You offered the flower?
So that's why in the end I had to leave it.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes one doesn't see that I offered the flower, but I did offer the flower.
Okay, sorry for that. That we have to be very careful to properly do puja. Anyway, we have here Daksha. His heart was polluted by envy, and he learned his lesson. So we have also to learn our lesson, that then become purified and learn who is advanced and who is not advanced. Any questions, comments? Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Sometimes I feel for me it's not so relevant to discriminate, like you said, who's advanced and who's not very advanced, because my mind tends to respect those who I think are advanced and not to respect so much those who are not so advanced. So do you think sometimes, it's a better, how to say this, like solution or formula to put down our fault-finding mentality, because discrimination sometimes may end up into fault-finding. So I just prefer, to try to respect everyone regardless of their spiritual position.
It's good to... It's true that it's not easy to see who is advanced, who is not advanced. Sometimes we come in an environment that we don't know the devotees, but you have a safeguarding net. A safeguarding is learn Vaishnava etiquette. That is very important. Learn Vaishnava etiquette. That especially don't criticize, but rather see the good qualities in the heart of others. we have here Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has two kinds of disciples. The low-grade disciples that they are creatures in the mode of ignorance, spirits, oblogins, and so on. And they have practically no good qualities. He has also disciples, great sages, who is instructing in the science of Bhakti Yoga. But in these lower creatures, they have practically no good quality, but if he sees one quality, even how faint or little this quality is, he starts to glorify it like anything. So he sees the good qualities in others and glorifies them. So in that way we can also try to find the good qualities in devotees and glorify them. And and be careful with correcting, because that was a fault of Prajapati Daksha. He tried to correct Lord Shiva. He tried to correct Lord Shiva. So he saw before you correct someone, there are a few considerations. But the first thing is, do I feel envy in my heart towards the devotee? If so, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't try to correct the devotee. But even if you have no envy, then there is the question, am I in a position to correct the devotee? What does it mean, position? The devotee is more advanced or senior, then you can't correct this person. Am I in a position managerially? Sometimes, as a temple president, you must correct that. But even if you are in a position, if someone is senior than you, you can't. There are methods to do that. To go to a god brother and ask him, your god brother does that, and ask him a question. So there are considerations that you must be senior, you must be in a position, not envious, and then there is the motive, the third aspect. Why do you want to correct this devotee? The right motive is, I want to help this devotee in his spiritual life. I want him to make spiritual advancement. So there are a lot of considerations before doing that. Does that help? Thank you. Something else.
Maharaj, in this pastime, we see a lot of politics between the followers of Prajapati Daksha, the Brahmanas, and the Shaivas, and cursing each other and all that. I'm wondering how can we avoid such politics in our movement more, as we see all these camps and parties and people criticizing each other and writing things on the internet about each other and all this. What is your recommendation in the future for us to avoid this offensive mentality in our movement?
That is, I've mainly 2 points that this politics. Arjuna and the Pandavas, they didn't want all this politics, but they had to engage in it. That shows politics cannot be avoided. That's one aspect. The other point is that many politics in ISKCON they arise from the point they come from the point that we are still all neophytes. That this politics that comes, what I've explained today. That's one of the big factors. And we see the social media, the modern communication is not helping by that. It becomes so influential, this social media. In 5 minutes, one can murder the character of a devotee all over the world. No problem. That it's so dangerous. But what I learned about it, and I'm still learning, because when you are in the position of a sannyasi, you may try your best to stay out of this politics. I've great admiration for Kadambaka Maharaj. He was expert to stay out of it. And it's not easy to learn. But I've learned if something happens and some issues come up, if it is not my service, I'm not going into it. If it's not my service, I have no business with it. Let them discuss it. I'm temporary here, and soon I'm out of the body. Why waste my time with it? I want to make spiritual advancement. Not going into the issues. I have my service, and that's my service for my spiritual master in Krishna, and not all the other things. But of course, in my position, I've also sometimes, if I see something which is not right, I have to point it out. Otherwise, I become responsible for it. And that's sometimes a tough thing. You don't want, but you have to do it. But it's a problem, these politics, and these politics are... Therefore, Prabhupada knew that, and he said one has to discuss every year at the GBC meetings unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. Because diversity will come, that we have to stay together somewhere or another. And the unity is Prabhupada, and Prabhupada's instructions. That because these politics have never brought anything good. But it's a valid concern. Thank you for bringing that up. Good? Yeah, maybe.
Thank you, Maharaj. Your point that you made now, that you try to, if it is not concerning your seva or it's not within your seva, you don't go into it. And it is the point that you were mentioning in the lecture. Make sure that the seva is done properly. But this is the one side is that devotees are enthusiastic and they have the courage to take up a seva. But on the other hand, you yourself might have the position to do it, but it's actually the etiquette, so far I learned, that you wait until you are asked to do a seva. So for example, Prabhu, please, would you like to sing? Prabhu, would you like to do the puja? So if I understand this etiquette and no one is asking, so it's not proper to just do it, although I know I could do it properly. But someone else who is maybe even not asked, but who also does not even know how to do it properly, is just taking it up because he has the courage and he's enthusiastic, which is good. So we have these two sides, and there is no person who is really like or who is looking who could do it and who is responsible for managing this. So yeah. It's all running half away, and if I'm not asked, then okay, then I'm not misusing my position as a person who just could do it and just does it. Could you maybe say something about this, or?
Yeah, there's. I would say that the person who wants to do it because nobody else do it, it's a good thing if it's in agreement with the management. That's good. But then also, am I qualified to do it? That and then if later appears, yeah, it was not done properly, and then one should be ready to be rectified and accepted at mercy. I remember Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he tells us always about his time in the army. And he had one commander or a general, I don't know, but he said to the troops, yeah, if you see that something is going wrong, don't complain. Don't complain. You fix it. And that's okay. In the temple, yeah, if something goes wrong, and instead of complaining, but you can fix it, but it should be done with agreement of the authorities in the temple at the same time. And one should be ready to get feedback for improvement if it's done not properly. So these are different considerations. So it's not a question of finding faults in someone. It's a question of making spiritual advancement. That at one time we work under authorities, at the other side we must be happy to receive feedback for improvement. And that's healthy. Does that help?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Shantara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki.